The mill was actually bought. It's what they call an American #1. And the mill is several different pieces that were put together. So the boiler here is actually a 1906 Shea locomotive boiler. And it was in a couple of wrecks, and then they refabricated it into a stationary boiler. Yeah. And that boiler runs the whole mill. We fire it from wood, so after we make cuts and cut slabs, they go in the boxes, and the boxes go back into the firebox, so it kind of recirculates. You have a head rig, the main engine that turns this main saw blade. There's a carriage in there you hook the logs to, and that drags that log through that saw. And that main mill engine that's in there actually came from the Bumblebee tuna factory out of Astoria. This would originally have been a cant sawmill, so they would just take the big logs, cut them into smaller cants, you know, something like a 14 by 14, a 12 by 12, and then they'd go resaw them somewhere else for finished lumber, or they'd turn them into railroad ties. And they were actually just to make the cants and then ship them. And then we have the little engine clear in the corner over there, and that just runs the conveyor to take all the sawdust out from underneath the saw. And there's a big pit underneath there, and it fills the sawdust. So then we have another engine in there, it's called an edger. And the engine running that is a 1905, and it came out of Gold Hill. And then the edger is probably about a 1910. And that takes it board, because when they come off a log, they're not square. So they got it partial rounded, and that edger takes that rounded side off, so you can get a square board out of it. And then those chunks get caught up in a rip saw. And that also has an engine in it, all on its own, and that actually cuts it into slabs. And that one's probably out in 1908. All the engines are separate. So you have the main engine, which just runs the saw, and then you have the edger engine and the edger, and then you have the rip saw and its engine, and then the conveyor belt with its own engine.
Are they all drawing steam from that one boiler?
One boiler, yes. It also runs this engine here, sitting behind me. That was built in 1880. Still runs, just wonderful. And this was actually put in the Johns, which is BP Johns, the furniture factory that was down on Macadam. And that engine ran the entire furniture factory, which is like 5 times larger than what the building is there now. And then it went over in 1927, moved to Salem Slash and Door, which it ran that mill for several years. 55, Yoder Sawmill out in Yoder, Oregon bought it. They put it into service to run the sawmill, and then they turned it into an electric operation, and the engine came down here in 1979, and it runs about 80 RPM, and there she is.